Hi. So beautiful day in Montreal. It's sunny, but it's bitter cold. The temperature right now with wind chill is about minus 22 degrees Celsius, which is about minus 7.5, 7.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is cold, but it's a cold day. We need to warm up. So I'm going to go cook Guyanese soup. So let's go. So we're gonna start with the soup. First thing is it's gonna be chicken soup, and here we have some other stuff that I will talk to you about after. So first we put the meat to fry. I don't use oil. There is some fat in the chicken already, so I don't want to start with oil. So I'm just gonna put it in like that. So if some of you are wondering, the chicken we cut it up and we washed it and all of that. So we're gonna let this do its thing here now. And then I'm gonna talk about what we're cooking. What we're cooking actually is what you call a provision soup. Here we have some plantains, we have cassava, we have some EDDOES, and we have some potatoes. The potatoes are not from my garden, but sometimes we do plant potatoes in the garden and it comes very well actually. This is some spinach. This is from my garden, and carrots. And actually this carrot is from my garden actually. It came out wonderful. It's incredible that you plant this little seed in the soil and you get this beautiful thing. You know, so next year we're gonna plant the carrots again because we also happen to have rabbits in the yard. We don't cook rabbits, by the way. But we have this rabbit that was born in our yard. The mom had like, I think 5 or 6 babies. And this one stayed. I say he, but I don't know if it's a he or she. But we named, let's say him, we named him Spot. And this is a picture of Spot. So here we have for the dumplings, we have some flour, baking powder, salt, sugar, some black pepper for the dumplings. For the soup now, we have some barley which we soaked in the water. We have some coconut milk. I know if you're in Guyana, you don't need to go buy canned coconut milk, but here I buy that. And here we have some hot pepper. You know, it shows that we don't have to buy it because we use a lot of it. This is from the garden. We have some parsley. This is some spinach also. Then we have some tomatoes, onions, oregano, with some thyme, soy sauce, salt, ginger powder, cumin, black pepper, and some chopped garlic. So that's what we're gonna use. And we have a couple of bay leaves there. So some of you might wonder, you know, hey, a lot of you know how to make soup. Hey, it's pandemic, it's cold outside. I have nothing else to do in my life, so I'm making videos of Guyanese soup. So just to let you know, I said this was spinach. You know, doing videos sometimes you get a brain freeze. So I didn't know exactly. I couldn't remember what it was, so I said spinach. It's actually basil that we froze. It's from our garden, and we froze it so that we can use it in the winter. So that's basil, and these are the other stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the salt onto the chicken and the black pepper. We're going to fry it up with this. It may look excessive for the amount of chicken, but it'll all be in the soup, so the meat is not going to be over salty or stuff like that. See, we didn't add oil to it, but it's already getting oily because the fat from the chicken is melting. The chicken, we always take the skin off. The only part with the skin is the wings. The rest of it, we take off the skin because there's a lot of fat in that. So, I just want to show you this. You see, this is why I don't add more oil. As it is, there's a lot of oil inside already from the fat of the chicken. So now, me when I cook soup, I make it simple. It's all in. So I just throw everything in. Well, first we start with the onions. I use a lot of onions, especially in soup. Put the garlic. Pepper. The barley. I just put everything in. It's nothing fussy. So the way I learned to cook soup is because, like I said in my previous video, we used to cook late at night. And when we play cards late at night and then we get hungry. And growing up in a small village in Guyana, we didn't have restaurants in the village, so we would cook late at night. So we just put whatever we could find. I don't think 2 o'clock in the morning we'll find cassava or EDDOES, but potatoes, spinach, maybe. So plantains, not really, but I'll tell you a little story. One night we were cooking at my friend's Benji's house. Benji, he lived across the street from me, the road. And they had this banana tree in front that had a big bunch of bananas. And they were ready to be picked. So we asked him if we could take some for the soup. He said, okay, just take a few, but don't take the whole bunch. Just take a few to cook and leave the bunch. And he warned us about 3 times, do not take the whole bunch. So we did. We took a few and we cooked in the soup. We slept. In the morning we woke up. We slept at his house. In the morning we woke up and he was angry as hell. He was so mad because he thought we picked the whole bunch. So what really happened was we didn't pick the bunch. We took a few, but somebody else came and stole the whole bunch. So it was a good thing at least we got some. So that was one of the funny stories of that time. So this is what's happening now. Close-up view. This already looks beautiful. I'm going to add the other stuff, starting with the cassava and EDDOES. All these things, the cassava, the EDDOES, the plantains, the carrots, the spinach, they were all frozen. Because due to COVID, we don't really go out often, and since March 5th, we're actually sometimes permanently locked down, sometimes partially locked down, but we're locked down. So I don't really want to go to the store often. So we just buy and we freeze. The potatoes I will leave because me, I like potatoes a lot. And I don't want it to melt up too much. So I'm going to leave that for later. But I'm going to add everything else. Except for the potatoes, and then after I'll add the dumplings. You know, I just want to show you something. This is already looking delicious. So I will just add some. I have some hot water here. The only thing left to put in is the potatoes and after the dumplings. You don't want to stir it too much because you don't want everything to be broken up into small pieces. So I just do that. And you let it simmer for now. So now we're going to start with the dumplings. Just gonna add the black pepper, baking powder, the salt and the sugar and salt. And then you mix this up to the consistency that you want. The softer it is, the more fluffy the dumplings will come out. And the harder it is, the tougher is the dumplings. That's the theory, I think. Now, I don't like it too soft. And my dad, when he made dumplings, he wanted it really chewy, so he wanted it hard. So he used to boil the dumplings until they float and then sink. Now, I don't like it that hard either. I like it in between. I don't like when it's just soft. So, and I don't like it hard either. So, I'm in the middle of all of that. So I'm going to mix this up. And then after, I'm going to make the dumplings and I'll put it into the soup. And then after, I just have some parsley to add. And also, for me, hard-boiled eggs. I like that in my soup. It's not a must, but I like that in my chicken soup. See, like I said, when we cooked at night, we'd go and let's say we borrow a chicken, from our parents' chicken coop. One of my subscribers, who is also, she's from my village. She lived, now she lives in New York, but she lived one house from my parents' home. Her name is Marcel. And she knew exactly what I'm talking about. She called, she knew about the chicken story and all of that. Anyways, I told her I was going to give her a shout out. So I want to give a shout out to my neighbor from Guyana, Marcel, and her family. So when we go and take a chicken, if you're growing up, you're a teenager boy growing, you need a lot of protein. I don't know, I remember my body calling for protein. And in my village, the biggest thing was fish. We used to, the fisherman would come from the Atlantic Ocean with the fish in the morning, and then they'd come and blow the shell. And when you hear the shell, you know it's a fish cart. And then we'd go. One of my best friends in Guyana too, his name is Alfred. He has a few fishing boats, and this is what he does. And yeah, so we would grow up with a lot of fish and shrimp. But somehow we like meat too. So when we cook the chickens, we'd also go under the chicken inside the box and see if there's eggs, and we will boil some eggs for our chicken. So that's in memory of the way I grew up. So now I'm just gonna add the dumplings. Before you put the dumplings, you have to add more water because the dumplings actually absorbs a lot of the water too. So you add some water. So for my Canadian friends, this is like a hearty soup. This is what we call soup coming from Guyana. I actually don't know what you would call it here, but it's a hearty soup. That's what it is. So this is our hearty Guyanese provision soup with chicken, plantains, cassava, EDDOES, carrots, potatoes, egg. So we'll just put some parsley on top. This is super hot. Some of you may wonder why I never taste the food. Well, this is hot, and all the food when I'm finished cooking is very hot, and my mouth burns very easily. So please excuse me for that. I just want to thank you again for watching my videos. I have a lot of videos coming. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I really appreciate that. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell. The subscribe button is on the bottom. I have many videos coming. I have one of a Chinese fried rice. Guyanese fried rice, I should say. That will knock your socks off. I have the recipe for that. I learned it. The person that taught me about it is not really happy that I will put it on YouTube because it cost him a lot of money how to make it. Somebody taught him, a professional taught him how to make it. This will be coming up. I don't know when, but sometime in the future that's going to be coming up. So anyways, thank you again. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.